Tonight, same questions, different answers. Whyala's mayoral candidates go head-to-head on the city's strong connection to sports in the region. And it's a rite of passage for many young women. Broken Hill's Civic Ball returns after several years of COVID cancellations.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Madeline Kerr begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. Right into the thick of campaigning, tonight we continue our coverage on what to expect from mayoral candidates in the local government elections. Our reporter Edward McCarroll spoke to the Whyala candidates and asked how they intend to support the strong sporting culture in the city.
Can Whyala's facilities support the city's active population? In recent years, Whyala has hosted AFL pre-season matches and large events like the state's Country Football Championship. Made possible by the $2.8 million upgrade of Bennett Oval, residents say they want more of the city's sporting facilities upgraded. Tom Antonio says if he's elected mayor, the place they'll start is the city's leisure centre.
We have a dilapidated leisure centre. We need to have a leisure centre that meets the needs of the people.
Fellow mayoral candidate Phil Stone says the current council already has something in the works for the facility.
Well, we've adopted in a master plan. That's tired because of a 70s construction, like so many of our facilities.
But Antonio says with a sauna and spa that continues to break, the council have been taking too long.
We need an Olympic-sized swimming pool, we need a sauna, we need a spa, we need a really up-to-date gym that people can really go and enjoy, and people from Whyala need that to happen.
However, Phil Stone says the council should prioritise following up with the state government's bid to build a large centralised sporting facility to maximise how many local clubs can benefit from potential upgrades.
There's still the talk. We're looking at how we can establish the big sporting hub, been talked about for many years. State government has got a carrot that they're dangling before us, which we want to grab.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A pilot is lucky to have walked away unscathed after his light aircraft crashed soon after takeoff in Port Lincoln. Police and emergency crews were called to the scene at Barryfirth Drive in North Shields just after 1 p.m. on Saturday. It's alleged the light plane experienced engine failure shortly after takeoff. However, the pilot managed to glide the plane back into the airfield and landing on the grass. The pilot was not harmed and the plane was towed away. The incident has been referred to the Recreation Aviation Australia for further investigation. With fears of a national healthcare worker shortage, 1,200 positions have been made available for graduate nurses and midwives to jump straight into across South Australia. The recruitment drive is expected to help fill positions in regional locations where nurses are stretched thin.
Ensuring a job straight out of university. The state government announcing a $26 million commitment to increase recruitment of nurses and midwives across the state.
Doubling the nurse recruitment from 600 to 1,200 nurses.
The recruitment program also focusing on better mentoring and wellbeing support to avoid the nurses becoming burnt out.
So SA Health offers a very attractive package for nurses and midwives to stay here with our new pathways and programs.
And certainly some of those nurses and midwives can and should come to rural and regional areas.
The nursing union says alongside this effort to retain skilled workers, the state government must also offer incentives to persuade nurses to move to regional locations.
We've also been advocating for rural and regional allowances and incentives to encourage nurses and midwives to come out to those rural and regional areas.
The call to action comes at a time where other states are advertising their nursing programs in SA in an attempt to poach students and put them to work across the borders.
So we've got to compete and we've got to make sure that South Australian nurses and midwives are being paid and supported appropriately because if they're not, there are many, many opportunities for them elsewhere.
I've instructed SA Health to immediately start a replication of that campaign interstate.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Golf News.
After being cancelled the past 2 years, the Civic Ball made its triumphant return in Broken Hill on Friday night. 3 young women making their debut in front of their proud family and friends.
It was a night they will never forget. For some, it was 2 years in the making, and they thought that it may never come. The debutantes were excited, but also had some butterflies.
I'm very excited, but I'm also extremely nervous because I'm not a good public speaker and I have to speak in front of an audience.
There was plenty of enjoyment for the couples in the lead-up, as they all bonded for the special occasion.
We've all had lots of fun. We've got to know each other and practicing, and many hours of practicing and everything, but it's all worth it now.
While some people were looking forward to the dances, with all the hard work they had put in.
Definitely the dances, just to get them over and done, but we've been putting a lot of practice into it.
Others had their mind on something else.
I'm most looking forward to the food, but apart from that, the dances are going to be good too, I think.
After spending some time getting pictures and doing interviews, the debutantes were finally presented to the crowd. When they hit the dance floor, they proved that they had the moves. When done cutting a rug, it was time for the formalities, with the speeches going off without a hitch, and a chance to catch up with the special guest.
I think Farmer Dave, he comes off as a really nice guy, so I think he'd be a good bloke to go and have a yarn with.
Joshua Mercer, 7, Spencer Golf News.
Still to come tonight, 2 men arrested over a series of alleged break-ins across regional SA and the Spencer Gulf. And Port Augusta residents invited to grill candidates at a community forum. Welcome back. 2 men will remain in custody until they face court in April next year, after police charged them with a string of break-ins across regional South Australia. Between the 17th of July and the 1st of September, York and Mid-North Police have been investigating a series of break-ins at rural businesses and sporting clubs. Some locations include Waruka, Edithburg, Normanville, Orroroo and Ardrossan. Police will allege the men stole cash and property worth thousands of dollars from 35 businesses and clubs. SAPOL arrested a 53-year-old man from Walkerville and a 44-year-old man from Seaford Meadows earlier this month, charging them with a combined total of 68 offences relating to the break-ins. The pair was refused bail and appeared in the Adelaide Magistrates Court, where they were remanded in custody. Meantime, a 56-year-old man has been reported for drink driving in Ceduna. Around 6:30 on Saturday night, police stopped a man riding a scooter on Mackenzie Street after he allegedly failed to give way. The officers then breath tested the man, which allegedly came back as a positive blood alcohol reading of 0.127. Police say the rider was not wearing his helmet correctly as well. Because of this, the man was reported for alleged drink driving and issued with a 6-month instant loss of licence. His scooter was impounded and he'll be summoned to appear before the Ceduna Magistrates Court at a later date. Port Augusta voters will have a chance to grill candidates for the local council and mayoralty before casting their votes when postal ballots are delivered next month. A candidate forum will be held on Thursday, and it may be the best opportunity to inquire about the big issues.
The Port Augusta local elections are getting closer. Contenders launching their bids for a spot on the City Council and the all-important mayoralty. Candidates have been invited to a forum hosted by the Port Augusta Ratepayers Association to put their case to the voters.
So they can introduce themselves to the Ratepayers Association and the people of Port Augusta and give us an idea of why they nominated and what they have in mind if they're successful to get on the council for the future of Port Augusta.
Several candidates running for either council or the mayoralty have already confirmed their participation in the forum.
I'm looking forward to expressing some of the ideas that I've been collected online. She wants to know what we're thinking, and I'm going to say what's on my mind.
Yes, I've accepted that invitation, but that's work permitted. I mean, if my work takes me away, well, then I can't, but the ratepayers know that. So, yes, but I will be there.
Issues like council rates and the future of Port Augusta are expected to be major discussion points. The forum is the best opportunity for candidates to get up close and personal with voters. It could also make or break political careers. Locals can head down to Etzer Oval on Thursday night for a 7 p.m. start. Daniel Pizarro, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. The Port Lincoln History Group's online database in desperate need of more funding. And intelligent, gentle with a quiet disposition. Meet the Greyhounds up for adoption in Broken Hill. Welcome back. The Port Lincoln History Group has been working tirelessly to bring old articles from the Port Lincoln Times back to life. The town's newspaper won't be put away on the shelf, with the group raising money for the archives to be scanned and delivered online through Trove.
From the paper to the web, the Port Lincoln History Group scanning old papers so people can access a digital copy online. Currently, Trove has records of the Times from 1927 to 1954. Now the group is taking it one step further.
Have the Port Lincoln Times from 1955 through to 2002 digitised and put onto Trove. Trove is a national database held in Canberra.
However, after 1954, issues of copyright became a problem. The group have been busy raising money to complete the project.
It comes with a cost. The State Library do all of the work. All we need to do is fundraise. The cost of the project is $165,000.
Thanks to the generous donations from the community, the History Group only have $25,000 to go.
From the Bendigo Community Bank, from the History Trust of South Australia, from the City of Port Lincoln, and even from the Lions Club here in Port Lincoln.
Once they have the funding, people will be able to access all the newspapers on Trove. Users can search for keywords in an attempt to find historical events or specific people. The Port Lincoln History Group happy to lend a hand in the hunt.
We're here to help. We're here to teach people how Trove works. We're here to help people find their historical information.
Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Sunday was Global Greyhound Walk Day, with the Broken Hill Greyhound Club joining in for a stroll around town. The group raising awareness for the dog breed, with some needing new homes.
Gentle giants looking for their forever homes. Broken Hill Greyhound Club were out and about yesterday raising awareness for their cause.
They're beautiful animals. They're just a giant cat. They like to lounge around all day. Great with kids. And they're a beautiful addition to the family.
Broken Hill Greyhound Club President REGAN is a former trainer and has spent years with the beloved breed. REGAN and the rest of the committee are now keen to explore the fostering and rehoming side of the retired race dogs.
About 12, 14 years ago, got wrapped up into racing, got my first dog, really enjoyed it, and eventually got involved a bit more with the club on committee level and then president, and now we're looking at getting into the rehoming side of the industry.
The club, along with a couple of owners, met yesterday for the Global Greyhound Walk, taking the dogs for a nice leisurely stroll and trying to get the word out there that they are worth bringing home to family. The breed is very laid back, usually sleeping the day away, but they can be active when they want to be.
They're sitting here nice and calm. They enjoy, some of them will play for a little bit and then just wander off and do some sunbaking.
At the moment, the club has about a dozen greyhounds who need to be rehomed. The club is planning another get-together in 2 weeks. They will be taking the dogs up the main street. With anyone interested, welcome to come along.
Yeah, we're going to do a bit of a walk down Argent Street during the coffee hour, I suppose, early Sunday morning, about 10:30. So if you see us out and about, just pull us up and have a pat and ask any questions you'd like.
For more information, you can contact Broken Hill Greyhound Club through its Facebook page. Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. A Whyalla Footy Products team goes down to the Suns in the AFLW. And Alex Sykes will bring you the weather forecast for the week ahead. Welcome back to 7 Spencer Golf Nightly News. The AFL Grand Final might have been a bit of a letdown for everyone except for Geelong fans, but there's more excitement in the AFLW. Whyalla's Hannah Ewing side Port Adelaide going down to the Gold Coast, while the Crows demolished GWS.
The fallout from the AFL Grand Final continues, with the Swans' poor performance against winners Geelong a subject of ridicule and debate.
Oh yeah, we really let ourselves down, our supporters down, no question. I mean, from the first bounce. The game looked as foreign as what we'd played it this year. There was no element that we got right.
But over in the AFLW, the mood is very different as the season marks its halfway point. Round 5 shows Port is still trying to find their feet after a narrow loss to Gold Coast. Port ran out of power, their best efforts couldn't overcome their opponents. At final siren, the Suns won out by 2 goals.
That we just didn't show up for 3/4 of it. You can't play footy like that, and we know that, so yeah, we're not going to dwell on it too long.
Meanwhile, the Crows destroyed a hapless GWS, with the Giants failing to score a single goal, with just a behind to show on the scoreboard. The final score, 5-7-97 to a dismal singular point.
And then obviously, today it broke open for us, but it was built off the same things we've been doing for the last month, so it was good.
This Friday marks an exciting derby clash between the two Adelaide squads, and Port say they'll bring their A game.
We've shown we can play 4 quarters against the Swans, and we're going to be looking to bring that on Friday night against the Crows.
It'll be one of the biggest of the AFLW season. Daniel Pizarro, 7 Spencer Golf News.
No matter the score, it's so good to see a Whyalla local playing in the big league. Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather with Alex Sykes. Alex, good evening to you. For the most part, it was partly cloudy in the Spencer Gulf.
Thanks, Maddie. Yes, that's right. Partly cloudy conditions across the board today. Broken Hill did see a spatting of rain this afternoon, but nothing to write home about, especially when considering storms were predicted this morning. Taking a look at some of today's temperatures now, 18 degrees in Port Lincoln this afternoon. The Silver City reached a top of 22 with less than a millimetre of rain recorded at 3 p.m. A partly cloudy top of 15 in Clare. Looking more broadly at today's weather map now, Port Lincoln reached 19.9 degrees just before midday, 18 degrees in both Port Pirie and Woodner, 16 degrees was the maximum reached in Whyalla and Kadina. Taking a look at the satellite image now, a cold front will move across southern coastal parts this evening. A high pressure system will develop over the Bight tomorrow before weakening on Wednesday as a high further to the south strengthens. This stronger high will then move towards Tasmania later in the week. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Southwesterly winds 15 to 25 knots, seas between 1 and 2 metres, and south to southwesterly swell 1.5 to 2.5 metres. Partly cloudy in Port Lincoln tomorrow, set to reach a high of 15 degrees there, just 14 in Cleve. Woodner will get down to 5 degrees tonight, 17 tomorrow. Whyalla is heading for a top of 16 degrees on Tuesday, 8 degrees overnight. Port Augusta heading for a cloudy top of 17, a fair bit cooler than what we're used to seeing there. Partly cloudy and 16 in Kadina. Moving on to the mid-north and beyond, 17 in Port Pirie, partly cloudy, a shower of 2 and 12 in Clare. And Broken Hill will be partly cloudy and 17 degrees tomorrow with some southwesterly winds. Taking a look further through the week now, starting with Wednesday's weather forecast, and to be honest, it's looking rather average. Cloudy conditions from Port Lincoln right up to Broken Hill, temperatures varying by 3 degrees between 16 and 19. Debutante, the outlier of the bunch, heading for a sunny top of 22 degrees. Moving on to Thursday's outlook now, and that looks a bit more like it. Sunny top of 21 in Port Augusta, Whyalla will be sunny as well, 19 degrees, 19 in Broken Hill, partly cloudy conditions, 21 in Woodner and Port Pirie, 17 in Port Lincoln. And finally, taking a quick look at how Friday's shaping up, partly cloudy to mostly sunny conditions across our region, 19 in Whyalla and Kadina, 21 in Port Pirie and Broken Hill, 23 in Port Augusta, blue skies in the Opal capital, 27 degrees. And that's all the weather from me for tonight. I'll see you in a little later with an update. It's back to you, Maddie.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Monday. I'm Madeline Kerr. From all of us here, thanks so much for joining us. I'll have updates a little later, but until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.